designer. In easy to understand words, making user-friendly user interfaces that helps the users to comprehend how to use complicated technology items is the responsibility of an average UI UX designer. Being a part of the design process for the upcoming trendiest item will be extremely fulfilling for someone who is passionate about the most recent technological trends and products. So, in today's session, we will cover all that is to know about how to become a UI UX designer. But before we move on to the session, make sure you're subscribing to our YouTube channel and enabling that bell icon so that you will never miss any updates from Intellipaat. Let's move on to the agenda for this session. First, we'll go to see why become a UI UX designer. Then we will see the learning curve for a UI UX designer. After which we'll see the sought after UI UX designer skills. And then we will go on to see the UI UX designer average job salary ranges. After that, we'll go through some of the most frequently asked sample interview questions. And then finally, we'll see the future of UI UX designer, after which we'll have a quick recap of the entire session. Why become a UI UX designer? There is always a need for UX UI designers. There are tens of thousands of open employment available if you search in the LinkedIn's open positions. And this number only keeps to rise daily. Although having a functional knowledge of the product is helpful, having extensive programming knowledge is not required to work as a UI UX designer. For those of you who are hesitant or afraid to start learning programming languages, this might be a tremendous relief. UI UX designers frequently travel across nations, and it's not because the firm has changed. Companies, on the other hand, are aware that the creative people require sources of inspirations from their ideas. And with this, organizations offers relocation chances so that the employees can work from any region where the company has an office. Additionally, some businesses even offer the option of working remotely. UI UX designers can earn a lot of money regardless of whether they are working from home or in an office. In the US, the yearly average pay is around 85,000 US dollars. This is without taking into account the geography or the previous employment history. Now let us check our next topic, the learning curve for a UI UX designer. Now, let us go through perhaps the most important topic of the session, which is a step-by-step process of how to become a UI UX designer even if you are an inexperienced personnel. Let us break down the processes into a few steps so that it will be much easier to grasp and understand the same as well. The first step is, obviously, to get a college degree. The best path to becoming a UI UX designer is to first to study the theory in a classroom setting. Top Indian universities and colleges that specialize in interaction design include Srishti, NID, DJAD, Symbiosis, IIT IDZ, and MIT. A design education background is one of the most fundamental requirements or preferences that most companies set. Degree holders are given preferences over the other applicants who do not have that. Having said that, think of this as a first step towards obtaining employment. A strong body of work is more important than a college degree, though. Which brings us to our next step. Learn the basics of UI UX. Understanding the fundamentals of UI UX design is crucial because the user's experience on a website is undoubtedly the most crucial component of any effective design. The goal of UI UX design is to make the user experience enjoyable by addressing their demands and desires as well as their psychological needs. Developing a digital product that satisfies user demands and corporate objectives requires an understanding of why users behave in a specific way and for what motivates them to use or leave a website. Fortunately, you have access to a wide range of low-cost and even free UX lessons, courses, and tools, as well as a huge selection of UI UX publications. Step 3. Go through the existing eye-catching and friendly UI UX designs. The fundamentals of design can only go so far, though. Practice using a critical eye to analyze the designs of a website and mobile apps you enjoy in order to advance your skills. Take a few minutes the next time you come upon a website you particularly enjoy to consider why. Is there a color scheme to blame? Design of the interaction? The typeface? Examine every aspect of the design, including the distance between the elements, site's grid, its visual hierarchy, and even the particular pictures and icons utilized. What do you think is working and what isn't? To acquire a keen visual sense for design, this is essential. What you dislike about a website is just as significant as what you love about it. Examine the location critically. Instead of merely saying you dislike something, try to identify why you dislike it. Step 4. Buy or use or subscribe to the right tool that suits you. Next, you should spend the money on the UI UX tool to start putting your designs into action and starting to put what you've already learned into practice. Although there are many excellent tools on the market, we advise testing out a few industry leaders like Figma, Sketch, and Adobe XD to determine which you prefer. So here is a quick summary of what each of the pieces of software can do. Figma. For digital projects, Figma is collaborative design and prototype tool. It is the newest UI UX design tool available, and many designers have already adopted it as to their go-to tool. Sketch is a Mac OS software for digital design. Sketch is adored by designers for its plug-in possibilities and user-friendly interface. And finally, Adobe XD. It was created in the intention of serving a user interface designer. The best part is that the Adobe XD is totally free and makes it simple to create and prototype. Step 5. Create an effective portfolio. We strongly advise getting several free UI kits or user interface kits to get your design started if you're beginning from the scratch. A UI kit is a collection of pre-made design elements that includes all of the necessary visual components from a particular UI design. Think buttons, icons, fonts, menus, etc. Start by creating your own website or mobile application using a UI kit. But you should also think about redesigning the current websites. Choose a few of your favorite websites and consider how you could improve both their appearance and functionality. Then, find out how to make the prototypes of those designs. And think about sharing them online for comments to make them even better. Once this step is done properly, it's time for the next big step. Step 6. Try to get real world experience through internships. It's time to put yourself out there and acquire some real world experience once you've produced enough work that you're proud of and are comfortable with your abilities. You must build an online design portfolio that features your greatest work and the creative process behind it, as we mentioned in the previous step, if you want to land a job in UI UX design. And then apply for an entry level UI UX design positions now. Even if you don't get a job right away, looking for work is a fantastic chance to better your soft skills like communications and to explain the choices that went into your designs. There are two crucial traits that hiring managers are looking for in a designing prospects. Now, once you have done a pretty good job as a UI UX design intern, it would be only a matter of time before you get a permanent employment in the same firm or even better, an offer from a different company with even a minimal hike in salary if you had any at the previous firm. Which brings us to our next topic, the sought after UI UX designer skills. Now, let us check out some of the most sought after skills that most industries look for in a UI UX designer. Agile, app development, information architecture, design software knowledge, researching and testing skills, wireframing and prototyping, and of course, some soft skills such as general knowledge, presentation skills, collaborative skills, and communication skills. Now, let's move on to our next topic, UI UX designer average job salary ranges. Now, when it comes to India, the average annual salary that a UI UX designer receives is somewhere around rupees 5.5 lakhs per annum. where that can range from somewhere between rupees 2.1 lakh per annum to as high as 15 lakhs per annum. Whereas in the United States, the UI UX designer role pays around 100,000 US dollars annually on average, where the salary ranges from somewhere between 81,000 US dollars to 141,000 US dollars. As we can see, the UI UX designer role is indeed a high paying job in the United States as well. Now let's move on to some sample interview questions. What is UX design? Walk me through your workflow. How do you respond to a negative feedback? Tell me about your favorite example of a good UX. Tell me about your most or least successful UX design project. That's all. Now let's move on to our next topic, the future of UI UX designer. The future of UI UX designer is a unique one indeed. It will be much more crucial for the designers to have a specialty or a specialized discipline as the knowledge and the abilities of the UX designers at all levels rise. Many of the current advertisements for UI UX positions, this has already happened. Companies are increasingly looking for UI UX specialists who can work both on the user interface and the user experience as well. And jobs like interaction designers, UX designers, content and product designers, and even voice guided UX specialists are going to boom in the coming times. Hence, it's pretty much safe to say that the future looks pretty tight and safe for the UI UX designers in general. Now let's have a quick recap of all the content that we went through in this session. Initially, we went through why become a UI UX designer. Then we went on to see the learning curve for UI UX designer in a step-by-step detailed manner. After that, we went through the most sought after skills that a UI UX designer is supposed to have. A UI UX designer's average job salary ranges is what we checked after that. Then we went on to see some of the most important and recurring sample interview questions. And finally, we saw how the future of a UI UX designer would probably look like. So that's all for the video. Thank you for watching. Make sure you're subscribing to our YouTube channel and enabling that bell icon so that you will never miss any updates from us in Intellipaat.
Just a quick info, guys. If you want to make a career in UI UX design, then Intellipaat provides an advanced certification in UI UX design strategy. It is taught by IIT Guwahati professors and industry experts with more than 10 years of experience. This course is designed to upskill and land your dream job.